friends, That Gaming Author here, and welcome back to Let's Play that I've actually been trying to do for a few years now. If you happen to remember back in like 2020, I think, I tried doing a Let's Play for the PSP version. It did not work out, unfortunately. I also had a lot of misinformation in the game. I tried treating it like an informational Let's Play, when in fact I knew jack about the game. So don't watch that shit. I'm actually thinking of potentially archiving those videos, but it's also fun to look back and to see how foolish young me was. Young me being, 3 years ago, but ever since 2020, life's been, decades long. In any case, we are going to begin our Let's Play for The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, first chapter. Now, the main reason I wanted to do this all of a sudden is because I've got friends playing the modern Trails games, and they either don't have the means to play the original trilogy, or they just don't want to. I don't know. But this is mostly for those friends who are playing the modern games and kind of want to see where the series began. And in fact, this is required to understand a lot of the story, so just keep that shit in mind. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is actually go ahead and load up a new file. I couldn't think for a second because when I'm trying to play video games and I suck, I have a hard time actually, doing things. So yeah, we're gonna do a full New Game Plus playthrough. We are playing this purely for the story, and yeah, we're gonna carry over everything. So let's go ahead and do that. Daddy's really late. I even got a message from the guild saying he'd be home today, too. And Shara's gone traveling around the kingdom on some kind of training. I'm so bored. Maybe I'll just practice with my staff a bit more before dinner. Hey, I'm home. Daddy! Sorry to have kept you waiting, Estelle. Did you take good care of the house while I was away? Of course I did. Did you run into any trouble, Daddy? You didn't get hurt fighting the bad monsters, did you? Nope, I'm fit as a fiddle. That reminds me, though, I brought you a present. Really? What kind of present? A new fishing pole? Sneakers? Something for my training? Maybe I raised you wrong, Estelle. Aren't little girls supposed to like clothing and jewelry? I like pretty clothes, but they just get dirty. And jewelry breaks when you go play outside with it on. Anyway, Daddy, what's with the big blanket? Is that my present? Oh, you're a sharp one. Now, why don't you come have a look? What? Well, here you are. Quite a handsome boy, don't you think? What? Why is my present a boy? Don't make such a fuss or you'll wake him up. Wake him up? You mean he's still alive? Looks kinda dead if you ask me. I've treated his wounds, so he should be in stable condition. In the meantime, however, we'll need to let him rest. I'll put him to bed, so if you wouldn't mind heating a kettle of water on the stove, I'd appreciate it. Okay. He sure sleeps soundly, and he almost looks the same age as me. This is the first time I've ever seen black hair like that, too. He certainly does have a nice head of dark hair, and a pair of amber eyes to go with it. That's nice and all, but how about you come clean and fess up? Fess up? Yeah, who is this kid anyway? And why is he hurt? Why'd you bring him to our house? Is he an illegitimate child or something? Did you betray Mommy? Where have you been picking up these kinds of words? No doubt from Sherazard, I assume. Yep, that's right. For heaven's sake, that girl is going to get me in trouble one of these days with all her nonsense. Actually, I just met this boy while I was out on business, and I don't even know his name. You mean Bracer business? Something like that. Oh look! Huh? He's waking up. Wow, his eyes really are the color of amber. Where am I? So you're awake now, are you? Welcome to my humble home. You'll be safe here, so please, just try to rest. What are you trying to pull? Huh? You must be out of your mind. Why didn't you just leave me there to die? Why? Now that's a question I don't know how to answer. Does things just work out that way work for you? Don't toy with me, Cassius Bright. Do you have any idea what you're getting yourself involved in? Hey! You're sure shouting a lot for someone who's supposed to be hurt. Running your mouth like that is just gonna make it take longer for your body to heal. And just who are you supposed to be? I'm Estelle. Estelle Bright. She's my daughter. Don't you remember me telling you that I have a daughter your age? Now that you mention it... Wait a minute, don't try and change this... Ow! Quit yelling. Alright already. But you jumping on me like that isn't going to help make me heal any faster either. I don't hear you yelling again, do I? Look, jumping on me like that is just going to make things worse. Do I hear yelling? Never mind, just forget it. As a word of advice, it would be wise not to argue with Estelle while you're in this house. Even I wouldn't stand a chance if I made her mad enough. Yeah, I can see that. By the way, aren't you forgetting something? Huh? Your name, you know, that thing that people call you. I told you mine already, so don't you think it would be unfair and impolite not to tell me yours? It seems like the logical thing to do if you ask me. Trying to hide it now would only serve to your detriment. Fine. My name is... Slim Shady. Roll credits, that's the end of the game. No. We have a very long journey ahead of us, even if we've got all the levels in the world we could ever ask for. And then some. Ugh, it's so bright in here. I slept like a rock. That must mean it's Dad's turn to cook this morning. I wonder if that means Josh was still in bed. Guess that's a no. Well, I guess I better get myself ready then too. Nice, Joshua. Bravo. Good morning, Estelle. I hope I didn't wake you. Nah, I was already up when I heard you start to play. I can't believe how awake you are, though. Even the roosters still have bags under their eyes. Not that I mind, but with that siren song of yours gently lulling this beautiful woman from her slumber. What do you mean, woman? We're the same age and I'm hardly a man. How wrong you are, Joshua. We may be the same age, but I am clearly the woman of the house. And that makes you something like my loyal follower, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, how fortunate for you. You can at least try to sound a tiny bit sincere. It really is a nice tune, though. Cheerful, yet somehow wistful. I like your other songs too, of course, but this one's my favorite. What's it called again? The Whereabouts of Light. That's right, The Whereabouts of Light. I wish I could play the harmonica like you, Joshua. Sadly, it's a lot harder than it looks. Compared to what it takes to use a staff, I think the harmonica is much easier. It's really just a matter of concentration. You're probably right. I guess my problem is that if I don't do something that uses my whole body, I start to feel drowsy. Okay, playing the harmonica is fine and all, but how about getting some exercise too? All your hobbies are sitting around kind of stuff, like reading and music. No girl is going to be impressed with just that. Well, excuse me for being so unpopular with the ladies. Although, I feel like I should be the one lecturing you about your hobbies. I mean, what kind of boy wants a girl who loves fishing, collecting bugs, and has a fetish for sports shoes? That's enough talk about hobbies for now. And for your information, I graduated from bug collecting a long time ago. Really? I'll believe that when I stop finding beetles in the hallway. Hey, Estelle, Joshua. Morning, Dad. Good morning, Dad. Is breakfast ready? It's ready and waiting. Why don't the both of you hurry on down before it gets cold? Okay. I'm on my way. Thanks for the grub, Dad. Boy, am I stuffed. Are you eating or inhaling, Estelle? Like people say, kids who eat and sleep a lot grow a lot. Well, make sure you get enough to eat, but don't forget to pour that energy into your work, too. That reminds me, you two are finishing up your training at the guild today, aren't you? That's right. It'll be a review of everything we've learned up to this point. And once we're finished, we'll be bracers just like you, Dad. That means I'm not going to let you treat me like a kid anymore, either. You still lack understanding, Estelle. You can only become a junior bracer in the beginning, or in other words, a trainee. If you want to be treated like an adult, then you should work extra hard in your training to become a full-fledged bracer. Well, I'm not afraid of a little hard work. Just you watch and see what I'm capable of, Dad. I'll be so successful that it won't be long before I pass you, too. That's the spirit. Let's see what you're made of then, shall we? Let's not start a rivalry here, you two. And Estelle, keep your focus on the task at hand. We have a test later on today, remember? Huh? Wait, what test? Please tell me that you didn't forget about the test, Estelle. You know, the one that checks whether or not we've mastered the skills we've been learning in training. Don't you remember Shara saying that if we failed, we'd be stuck with a ton of extra homework? Crap, totally forgot. Now that you mention it, I guess I kind of remember her saying something like that. Don't sweat it, I'm sure we'll manage somehow or other. I honestly don't know how you've survived this long, Estelle. Your brain is like a sieve. Papa is sad. How could any child of mine end up with such a careless, over-optimistic personality? You're the one that raised me, so I definitely got it from you. I swear, the two of you act so much alike, but whatever. We should probably head over to the guild soon, Estelle. Shara's going to be waiting there for us. Sounds like a plan. You know how crazy scary she gets when someone keeps her waiting. Oh, before I forget, it's my turn to cook dinner tonight. Is there anything in particular you'd like to eat, Dad? Any requests? Something I'd like to eat, huh? How about Rwanda-styled scalloped fish and balsamic vinegar sauce? What's that? I think that's a little more than Estelle's cooking skills can handle, or our stomachs. You're right. I just wanted to see what kind of reaction I could get. I'll just have the usual fried fish and omelet. No need for anything fancy, but do try and make something edible. How rude! But I can't say he's actually wrong. Actually, I do have one favor to ask before you head out. I'd like you to pick me up a copy of the Liberal News from the General Goods Store. They're supposed to be getting the latest edition in today. Got it. One copy of the Liberal News from the General Goods Store. If there's any money left over, you can have it as your allowance. However, that means no wasteful spending. Alright, thanks, Dad. Okay, we're heading out now. See you later, Dad. Work hard and give Sherazard my regards. Alright, there we go. We have officially begun our adventure. We are level 40, ridiculously overpowered. Get used to that. That's going to happen a lot. By the way, Dad, is it going to be alright if you stay home like this instead of going to the guild today? You haven't been there for a couple of days now. Unfortunately, I have a lot of paperwork to sort out. But don't you worry, I'm carrying a big enough workload that the guild's not likely to fire me anytime soon. That's not exactly the most convincing thing I've heard come out of your mouth. So, one thing you're going to find out very quickly is that this game has a lot of dialogue. I do not plan on reading every single line out loud, unless it's story-related. But, yeah, just kind of giving you guys a heads up of what's going on. So when I traditionally play these games, I do like to read every single line of dialogue I stumble upon. I talk to every single NPC, everything, but for the sake of this playthrough, since we're just kind of trying to experience the story, I will not be doing that, and I will basically just be playing the story and doing side quests. It looks like we made good time. Not too early or too late either. We just barely graduated from Sunday school. I never dreamed we'd have to study so hard to become bracers. Well, you're in luck. Today is our last day of training. Truth be told though, you're the one who signed up to be bracer in the first place, so I don't know why you'd expect to get away with any less effort. Oh yeah, I guess I did. Alright then, let's get to it and make it through this last hazing from Shara. You look ready to me. Let's go meet with Shara at the Bracer Guild over there then. Alright, so I will go ahead and head into Rhynon's General Goods. Good morning, Mr. Rhynon. Hello there, Estelle and Joshua. You're up rather early today. Did you come by to buy a new pair of shoes? Now that you mention it, are there any new ones in stock? You know, like the newest Stregas? Unbelievable. You've actually already forgotten why we came in here to begin with. We're not here to shop. We're supposed to be buying a copy of the Liberal News for Dad, right? Of course. You've always been a big collector of those shoes, haven't you, Estelle? I'm afraid that the new Stregas aren't out yet. If you're after the latest issue of the Liberal News, though, I should have them in and around noon. Noon, huh? That's right in the middle of our training at the guild house. We'll stop by again after training is over. Sure, I'll be waiting for you. Alright, there we go. I just figured I'd get that out of the way. There you two are. Good morning, Estelle. Good morning, Joshua. Morning, Ina. Good morning. Is Shara here already? Yes, she's waiting for you upstairs. Once you finish today's training, you'll finally be recognized as members of the Bracer Guild. Good luck to the both of you. Thanks. We'll do our best. The Star and the Hangman. The Hermit and the Magician. And last of all, inversion through the Wheel of Fortune. This is a difficult combination. How should I interpret this? Good morning, Shara. Well, if it isn't Estelle and Joshua. This is a rare occasion for the both of you to show up so early. Since it's my last day of training, I figured why not? I'm ready to get this show on the road and become a bracer myself. I'll give you credit for your enthusiasm. But I'm going to work you hard today in every way I can think of to make sure that high-spirited attitude of yours holds up. I hope you're ready. I can feel that enthusiasm dropping already. Quiet, you. Every time I try to teach you something, you manage to forget it. This training is my way of trying to keep some of that information in your head instead of letting it dribble out your ears like it usually does. Joshua, Shara's picking on me. Don't worry, Shara. While Estelle may hate studying and rarely ever does her homework, acts rashly, is overly naive, and has a tendency to stick her nose into everything, her instincts are sharp, so I'm sure she'll pick up on how to use an ornament with some practice. Eventually. Probably. I guess there's not much I can do now except hope for the best. Hold on a sec, Joshua. Somehow I get the feeling that you weren't standing up for me. Well, that's odd. I'm positive I described all your best traits accurately. Whatever. By the way, Shara, what were you trying to predict with your tarot cards? Your face was really intent. Oh, this? I was just trying to get a vague reading about what might happen in the near future. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have been in the right mindset to interpret the cards correctly. You couldn't read the cards? Now that's surprising to hear. Actually, the more profound the meaning of the cards, the more difficult they become to interpret. But that's not important now. I think it's time we start with your final training. I'll give you a brief rundown of all the information we've covered in your previous training. This is the minimal level of knowledge that bracers should have in order to function effectively. And Estelle, make sure you pay especially close attention to what I'm going to say. Yeah. Orbments are mechanical devices which operate by using what is known as orbal energy. A variety of effects can be produced depending on their structure and the type of quartz, or processed septium, installed. Although it's only been about 50 years since their invention, these devices play an integral role in all facets of life, from lights, heaters, and other everyday products to weapons, magic, and even airships. In connection, this technological reform is commonly known as the Orbal Revolution. Bracers are investigative and combat specialists who work to protect civilians and maintain the stability of their respective regions. They aid the community in various ways, such as exterminating monsters, preventing crime, finding lost items, and escorting people and goods. The Bracer Guild, which has established branches across the continent, manages the affairs of the bracers in each region. The Kingdom of Liberl, in which we sit, lives on the western half of the Zemurian continent and abounds with nature and deep-rooted traditions. Liberl is proud to be one of the leading producers of septium on the continent and is known for its high level of technology used to develop orbments. Orbment technology has also been a key pillar of support for Liberl in protecting its independence as it has contended with neighboring nations. 10 years ago, when Liberl was invaded by the Erebonian Empire, it was the use of orbital-powered airships that saved the kingdom from defeat. Consequently, even now, our relationship with the Empire is somewhat sensitive, but thanks to the Queen's political finesse, Liberl enjoys peace. Let's see. Since we've got a mountain of stuff to do today, I'll let you off the hook this time with a condensed review. I'm going to speed things up now and move on to the practical portion of your training. Shara, how is today's practical training any different from the training we've done before? Since it's practical, that means you will be experiencing things firsthand. Therefore, I'm going to have the both of you run through everything as if this were a real bracer job. So what you're saying is, there won't be any studying at a desk involved? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. This time, you'll have to go out and make a physical effort to accomplish your task. I'll make sure to have you work up a sweat, so I hope you're ready. Yes, that's seriously just what the doctor ordered. I didn't know what I was going to do if I had to sit another day with my tush parked at a desk. I guess I got all worried for nothing. Well, suddenly you're all bright and cheerful, Estelle. Let's just hope that smile on your face lasts until the end of today's training. Okay, let's get cracking on your first objective, shall we? Let's have at it! Your first objective will be to confirm the details of the job you'll be performing. But before that, there is something that we need to give the both of you. Aina, are they ready? Yes, they are. Alright, you two, go get one for each of yourselves. These are very important, so make sure not to lose them. Bracer notebooks serve as the official way to record the status of your current jobs. Also, anything you may hear or anything that you may find and wear, these kinds of trivial things can often become clues. No matter how insignificant something may seem, always write it down. Understood. Crap, this sounds like it's going to be a pain. Oh? Please Please tell me it was my ears playing tricks on me, because I swear I only got one response. I'm sure there were two. Keeping an accurate account of events is an important duty for all Embracers. So get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is, Estelle. Okay, I got it. Make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over by the door. You can see that there's a bulletin board standing there. First, I want you to go and check the job description posted there. Okay, yeah, this is just saying... Yeah, check the bulletin board. That's basically all it's saying. This training will involve searching the sewers beneath Roland and bringing back the contents of a chest. Very good. It looks like you were able to see what was posted without any trouble. Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions a bracer performs on their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which need immediate attention is also an important duty for bracers. Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style. Sure, there are a lot of rules to follow, but there's an equal level of responsibility in the jobs themselves. I think being a bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude. I guess you're right. I'll just have to be more motivated. Is that so? Had a change of heart, have you? You betcha. Well, before all that motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task. What will you be doing this time? We'll be heading across the street to Mr. Melder's Orbital Factory and learning about how to use its services. He has graciously taken time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure to be on your best behavior. Okay. Here is where you will learn how to use an Orbital Factory's services. At an Orbital Factory, you can modify your orbments and synthesize support quartz in order to use orbital arts. Arts have a wide range of effects, and if mastered, can be extremely helpful. The bracer business is a pretty risky occupation, so the guild has had a long-standing relationship with these orbital factories. Anyway, this is about as much as I can explain. I'll leave the technical details to the expert. So, Mr. Melders, if you wouldn't mind taking over from here... No problem. Leave everything to me. So, what is it you would like to know about? Orbments are mechanical devices which exhibit an array of effects through the installation of various types of quartz. By definition, that means that lights, airship engines, and so on are also types of orbments. However, the ones we will be discussing today are battle orbments, which enhance the user's physical abilities and make it possible to use magic. Since each orbment is adjusted to match the owner's personal aptitude, the structures for these devices also differ for each owner. Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slots and the lines which connect them vary. At any rate, that's the layman's explanation. In order to install quartz, you must first have an open slot. By default, the central slot is open, but the other slots must be opened at an orbital factory like this. It'll take a fair amount of step-ins too. EP, which is needed for magic, will also see a max increase according to the number of open slots. I recommend opening all of them as soon as possible. Okay, and we don't really need to know the rest. This is all stuff you pick up as you play the games. None of it really gets into the lore of the game, so I don't think we need an explanation. Looks like Mr. Melders has answered all your questions. If there's nothing else, then let's have you both try and use the services here. For that, you're going to need some step-in. With that amount, you two should be able to synthesize a few quartz. Now, I want you to begin by first making an elemental quartz that will work with each of your particular orbits. In your case, Estelle, any elemental quartz is okay, but for you, Joshua, it has to be a time elemental quartz. Normally at a shop, you would be able to exchange Sepith for Mira, but for this training, you will not be able to use this service. And yeah, it's just telling us how to talk, so I'm pretty sure we already have... Oh! Can we not equip any of, hang on, I'm gonna go ahead and give her HP 3. Yep, there, okay, cool, so you can skip this, you can skip a step by just equipping the, crap you had from your previous playthrough. Nice. Oh, so you finished installing your quartz, have you? Since you have both recovery and attack arts set up, it appears that you don't need any more instructions from me about how to do this task. If you balance your arts out between each other like you've done here, it should make dealing with monsters much easier. Additionally, your bracer notebooks contain information about which quartz allow you to use which arts. If you you'd like to use more powerful arts, check out the Arts and Courts chart in your Bracer notebooks and find something that works for you. This concludes your training here at the Orbital Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been waiting for, the qualification test. Pardon? Did you just say test? You can't honestly tell me you forgot about the test again, can you? Didn't I remind you just this morning? Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talk along those lines at the breakfast table. Sometimes I fear for the future of the Bracer Guild and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about that now. Let's head over to the testing area. You mean like now? I don't know if I'm ready for... How about a little less yapping and a little more walking? Joshua, help me! Mr. Melders, Freddy, thank you for all your help. Don't mention it, and good luck with that test of yours. We'll be rooting for you. I'm going to remember that you left me high and dry like this, Joshua. All your training has finally come down to this. Your qualification test will begin here. I expect to see you both use what you've learned up to this point. Understood. What's wrong, Estelle? Shara? What now? I was kind of wondering, but is there not going to be a paper test or something? Did Cassius drop you on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board not that long ago, right? Yeah, and? And I even made you jot down what you read in your Bracer notebooks. Unless you forgot that too. I'm pretty sure the job listing mentioned searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ringing any bells yet? What a relief. Oh, divine Adios, I give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us such wonderful gifts as sewers. So what you're really saying is you thought it was a paper test? No wonder you were acting all crazy back at the Orbital Factory. I can already feel the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in a classroom are starting to feel like grand memories indeed. I'm really starting to wonder if we'll even be able to graduate at all. What's wrong with you? Why do you have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things? Alright, that's enough jabbering, you two. This is supposed to be a test, so how about the both of you try to at least look a little anxious? Just so you know, though, if you do happen to flunk the test, you don't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for the both of you. We'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do, and let us loose. Well, if you're so confident, then how about proving that you're not just blowing hot air with the results of your test? Anyway, as you both saw on the bulletin board, this test will be a search conducted in Roland's sewers. Your objective is to retrieve the contents of a chest which has been placed somewhere within that area. The layout of the sewers is extremely simple, so you don't need to worry about getting lost either. However, there are real, living, breathing monsters down there, so if you get careless and let down your guard, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. What's this book for? It's called a Monster Guide, and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents you meet. Whenever you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in there. Sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? And that's exactly what I'm saying. You've really got a good head on your shoulders, Joshua. And that's some pretty useful advice. Thanks for the tip, Shara. We'll put it to good use. Alrighty then, let's get pumped and knock out this test. Let's. Don't forget though, this is an exam. We should make sure we treat it as such. Alright. So, it's technically time to go dungeon crawling, but to be honest, I've been playing long enough and I'm ready to go ahead and finish the recording off. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying our journey so far. Like I said, it was a lot of dialogue. We're gonna have a lot more dialogue in the future. My voice is worn out. I'm gonna record another episode tomorrow. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.